Hey everybody, welcome to the live edition of Two Legs. Tom Hunyadi here, and over there is Andy Nichols. Andy, what's going on, my friend?
It's snowing here tonight in New Jersey.
Great. It's sunny and beautiful over here in Arizona, so
Jealous,
great stuff. Yeah,
jealous, but
anyways,
yeah, it's here, and we are back for our fourth edition of Rank the Tracks.
ranking the tracks today. It is the almighty Red Rose Speedway. I noticed
Yep.
there are quite a few people that are either in the love it camp, hate it camp, or, I think it's, what do you think?
I think it's fairly split. Again, I think as time has gone on, especially since the reissue 2 years ago,
Yeah,
it's gotten a little more love, like every other McCartney archive has.
yeah,
I think before that, it certainly was split, maybe even trending towards the
yeah,
lower tier McCartney
right.
for most
I agree.
people.
hmm
Yeah.
I
First,
agree.
hey, Bill and Susan, good evening.
Hello, Bill and Susan. Glad
I
you're here.
yeah, definitely trended towards the lower half, I think, for most people's lists of
Right,
overall McCartney.
right. All right. Well, before we get to that, we're going to do a little
Yeah,
housekeeping. We're going to talk about some news items and some releases and whatnot. More
shows we've
McCartney
done.
3.
Yeah.
But first, let's talk about the waterfalls video. The newly
Yes.
restored waterfalls video falling into place with the coming up video and just all these wonderful, they did the maybe I'm amazed earlier restored,
Wonderful
you
Christmas
know,
time.
yeah, last year we got that. So
I think there's been a
getting a lot.
total of four now
Yeah,
that have
because
been
then,
done.
well, then also we got the restored videos from Flaming Pie as well earlier this year.
That's right. That's right.
So
Vivian. Hello, Vivian.
hi, Vivian.
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
she loves Red Rose Speedway for the record.
Very good, very good. Glad
Vivian
to
and
hear
I are
that.
Vivian and I are gonna get along. She's gonna like a lot of what I have to say then.
Fair enough. So yeah, so waterfalls looks beautiful. The colors really pop out. I take it you've probably watched it
Oh, of
a
course,
couple
yeah.
times.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of chit chat about the aspect ratio being addressed, and there's a lot of people that are really super critical of the McCartney years
Right.
because the aspect ratio and a lot of those
Yes.
videos were not done
Yes.
well.
Correct.
Um, this one looked pretty good for me. Maybe somebody with a little more know-how
Right.
knows. I think these ones have been corrected, or this one
Yeah.
anyway. Thought it was good.
Yeah. I'd like to get somebody on because I think this was shot on video. I don't know if it was, so I think that technique of restoring video is a lot different than restoring film.
Yeah.
So I would like to see how that whole process works. Maybe we can get somebody on in the future to
Yeah,
talk about that.
upscaling.
But
Yeah,
but yeah, but
Bill Leary said he saw it today and it looked great. Absolutely did.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, colors pop. It's never been one of my favorite songs. However, excuse me. However, I do like the video. The video's pretty cool.
Yeah, and the video is interesting because you've got a little couple nuances on that video version that are not present in the version on the album, like that keyboard noodling that you hear at the
Oh
beginning of the
yes,
video.
right,
That's
right,
not present on the final
right.
version. So that's
And he
pretty
gets a
cool.
bunch of noises at the end too, turning out the lights and
Yeah,
clunking,
and of
stumbling over
course it's
something. I'm
it's
sure.
the it's the video edit, so it's an
Right.
edited version of the full length song. I think the full length version of Waterfalls is something like 4.5 minutes,
Mm,
close to five, and the video version and the edit that it's also on Wingspan, I think it's about 3.5. So I think there's a whole verse omitted from that video version still, but shot with a real live polar bear too.
yes, isn't that cool?
Yeah,
All
yeah.
could have been lunch, but
You could have been. You could have been. But those again,
maybe
those are the cool little anecdotes we
right,
we read
right,
about when you get the archive campaign about how the video was made and everything. So
right.
yeah, that
That's
was
true.
yeah. News soon. Mac and news all abound.
Yeah, and obviously the last couple of weeks saw a couple more colored vinyl announcements. So last week we saw a yellow vinyl announcement from musicvaults.com. Now, Music Vaults is the same one that's putting out the cassette. This
Smoky,
was,
the smoky tint one.
yes, this was 3,000 copies. I believe it's already sold out. But this is only 130 gram vinyl, not the traditional 180 that we've been getting since the
Didn't they do
vinyl
that? Didn't they do that
resurgence.
with Egypt Station? They
They
made
did do one of those with Egypt Station. Yes, they did. I think that
one of
was
them was
150. think it was
Right. It
150.
wasn't a traditional 180.
Right.
I forget which one it was.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
sitting in the other room. I don't know.
Yeah. See. And then just Monday we get a text from Paulie saying, "Hey guys, can you think you can spare another $30? And
Well,
here's
a
an
certain resident of Arizona can. We know
yeah,
that.
yeah. Do you think you can see your way to getting one more?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I can." So we got a
No.
violet. I know we got a violet, and this was on McCartney.com. Again, 3,000 copies. Again,
Gone.
130 gram, and again, gone.
Gone.
Gone. I am really considering when I get all of them in the mail and got them right next to me, whether or not I'm just going to put them all up on eBay and see how much.
You should think about it, man. Because you could make a freaking killing on even what do you have, 15 freaking copies now?
Something
Sell
like
half of
that.
them.
Yeah.
Sell half of them.
Let's see here. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, and then I would, I'm probably going to try to get that Target Green if they are indeed selling it at the stores, which the
Meaning the
sales.
target green, the dye is green on the cover, right? Is that what you mean?
Yes, yeah, the
Right.
die is
Okay.
green on the cover. So that's sold out online. However, in a Target newspaper coming up, they are looks like they are selling it on release date, the green vinyl. So with the green dye on the cover. So
Okay. We shall
okay,
see.
we'll see.
We got today's December 9th. We've got a little over a week to go until release date. So,
Yep.
and for those of you that didn't tune in last time or mention it, Tom and I will be going live that night on the 18th, probably around 9 or 10 Eastern,
Yep.
for a live reaction of the album. Hopefully, we'll have the whole day to digest it.
Yep.
And by this time that night, Tom and I will go live for our initial feedback for the whole of McCartney's.
First thoughts.
First thoughts.
Initial thoughts, and then we will be doing a show with author Luca Perazzi.
Luca, our friend
Perazzi is coming on, and
Luca.
we're gonna do a show with him, and he'll talk about it. He got a copy of the album early, and he was teasing a lot of people about it on the Hoffman Forum.
Yeah,
for
saw that.
last month and a half.
Yeah. We got Susan said she likes the song Waterfalls, but Paul's hair in the video has always bugged me. He always parted it on the wrong side. Yeah, he went through a little phase there, parting it on the wrong side. He says that in the book, why he did that. But yeah, you're right. He looked a little weird why he did that, Susan. Good point. I never liked that either.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the upcoming shows.
Yeah, I do want to take a second to thank everybody for watching and commenting on the Jerry Marotta episode. That was a whole lot of fun interviewing Jerry Marotta, and what a character he is. A lot of wonderful stories about, obviously working with McCartney, Elvis Costello, Hall & Oates, Peter Gabriel, and Orleans. We'll probably have him on again in the future.
Definitely.
Hopefully get some more wonderful stories from him. And if you haven't watched it, please check out that episode. And that was last week. So, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good feedback from Jerry, and definitely one of our best guests so far. I mean, all of our guests have been tremendously and gracious with their time, but Jerry is such a well-respected and well-traveled musician, and has so many.
I mean, the Stranglehold video shoot story alone
classic.
was well worth the price of admission.
Oh yeah, Bill Leary said great episode, very informative. Please have him back.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, he wants to invite us to his to his studios. So maybe one day next year, when everything breaks, hopefully, and Tom takes a trip east, we'll do that.
Yeah. Planning on moving east next year, so hopefully we can actually meet in person.
Absolutely.
So,
Volume 4, baby.
Red Rose Speedway. You got is that the early or late 80s?
87, 93, West Germany, 2018, the bootleg. It's all here.
It's all there.
Yep. My copy that I bought from Liverpool, Bold Street Records.
Does that got the braille on the back?
On
that would be up top.
On the British copy, yes.
Yes.
Here, it's here.
Yeah. Cool.
On the American, it's on the bottom, right?
I don't recall. I don't recall. We'll have
What
to
was
check
on
that
the
out.
bottom? Yeah, yeah,
But thank you,
yeah.
Ethan, to making again another fantastic graphic for the series. So
Oh,
Ethan Alexanian, thank you once again, host of Fans on the Run. If you guys haven't checked it out, please check it out. Type in Ethan Alexanian or Fans on the Run, and you should find his show. Andy and I have both been on it. So what do you got? What are you laughing about?
um, Bill Leary said, "Let's see where Loop is ranked." Something tells me, Bill, you're not gonna have to wait too
You're not gonna
long.
wait too long because I guess I start
Lead
first.
it off. Lead it off.
Okay, we are going
Number
to
number
number
9.
nine. Number nine, we are going with Loop. There you go. Not having to wait too long at all. Loop
No.
is a little interesting at times, but I think it drags on just a bit too long. In bits and pieces. The middle section really doesn't go anywhere. Well, I mean, it's let's see here. Loop is what, 4 minutes, 4 minutes and 23 seconds. Cut that shit down.
Yep.
4 minutes, three and a half. That whole middle segment, like I said, it really doesn't go anywhere. But I can appreciate what they're trying to do with it. However, it's not a favorite. It's not even really a favorite with his instrumentals, to be
No.
honest with you. So.
Man, drop that and put like Night Out even or Best Friend or
Oh, best friend or I lie around.
Tragedy or
Yeah,
something.
1882.
Something. Loop. I mean, damn. So that's your number 9. I read a review about that song once, and they said that Jesus, Paul, you're not Pink Floyd. You're not on Dark Side of the Moon. Okay, leave that stuff to Gilmore. Okay, and that's you can kind of get that sense of that in that song a little bit.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't think the band was there either. When you got like Linda, she's just getting started. Henry is not really that kind of guitar player. I don't think Denny is either. I think maybe Sywell could have probably handled something like that, but definitely leave Floyd to Floyd.
Yeah, a couple comments here. Tom Brennan said the 87 CD actually sounds really good. Yeah, as compared to the other issues of that. Yeah, the 87 one's always been a good master for me as well. Oliver said Loop is one of his least favorites, but it's not his favorite. It's number 8 for him. Tom also said Loop is number 9, but he wouldn't skip any of the songs on the album. Interesting.
Oh, okay, fair enough. See, for me, well, I'll get to that later. But go ahead, number 9 for you.
Loop, first Indian on the moon.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, and I have to say, just at the start for me, Red Rose Speedway is my Paul McCartney favorite album of all time. Wings, Solo, Fireman, you name it. This album, from start to finish, is my favorite Paul McCartney album, probably with London Town followed up second. So the two like off the wall Wings albums are my favorite albums that he's ever done.
Wow.
They
Okay.
just are. But yeah, 9 tracks, and Loop is easily the bottom of the barrel for me as well.
Okay. Gotcha. All right, number 8 for me. We're gonna go stick to the B side, Single Pigeon. Again, it's just a simple little thing that I think Paul, just one of these songs that Paul can knock off in 5 minutes. Just a simple little piano thing.
Hmm.
I do like his singing in it, but again, I think it's just a song that really doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, short and sweet. Couple more
Yeah.
comments. Susan said Red Rose Speedway, her braille is on the bottom. I thought the braille was on the
Mm.
bottom of the American
For
edition.
American, yeah.
Thought so. Nice bass part on Loop. Tom Brennan. Yeah, there's a nice bass, a little bit of a good bass groove on Loop for a little bit.
Right.
FD Superstar. Never can get through Little Lamb. Really?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So I mean, with a Single Pigeon, it's under 2 minutes. Thank God it doesn't drag on. But
yeah, it's. Hey, listen, it's my number 8 as well. So we're 2 for 2 to start. It's my number. It's my number 8 as well. Short and sweet. A lot. It contains everything that the
Right.
critics love to vilify McCartney for.
Yeah.
Very twee.
Granny song maybe.
Maybe a granny song. just a minute and a half. I don't ever skip it. To
Right.
echo what Tom has said, I wouldn't.
Muzak, is it one of his Muzak songs?
Muzak, I dig it. I like hearing the lyrics about walking through Regent's Park Canal in London. I like that kind of stuff. I've
Okay.
never skipped it. It's a minute and 50 seconds, but
Right.
I don't hear it and I'm like skip like I do with Loop. So, but in a ranking of 9 songs, all which are really good, it's also number 8 for me as well.
Gotcha.
Oliver said Single Pigeon his least favorite. It's too short. Susan likes the reconstructed album.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It sounds a lot fuller to her. Cool.
Yeah, it should have. That's what it should have been. And he still had an opportunity to do that with this album as well, I believe. Give
Could
a
have.
give a bone here and there. He still could have put Seaside Woman on here. We didn't need my number 7 song on here, which is Win the Night. Um,
You're gonna lose When the Night for Seaside Woman.
absolutely,
All right,
absolutely.
I'm gonna end this stream right now. So 'cause this is like ridiculous, ridiculous.
Anyways, yeah. So my number 7 is Win the Night. I'm going to tell you right now, the B side of this album is one of my least favorite sides of any McCartney album, while side A is probably my favorite side of any Paul McCartney album. I think the sides are night and day, but again, Win the Night, I feel it's just one of those songs that Paul can do in 5 minutes. Yeah,
Gerardo also likes Single Pigeon, but it's too short and it has silly lyrics. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would think. I guess your criticism of When the Night is that it's too what? It's just too formulatic, or just
Yeah, I mean,
pinpoint
plus, I
numbers.
mean, that's again, I mean, at when the night is, 3.5 minutes, it's just not interesting enough to me. I guess when you hear when the night, and then all of a sudden you hear an acoustic guitar, and when, really should I thought it would have been better as a more of a bluesy style song.
I always liked it because of the hooks in it. I never
Mm.
taught, the whole taught me how to swing and sway, don't
Right.
darling, don't kind of rolled nicely.
Mm.
And then, of course, he played it live in Newcastle. So
Yeah,
anytime, any live rendition of a Red Rose Speedway track,
I would like to hear that live version. Yeah, absolutely.
never heard it?
No, not yet. No.
Yeah, he played it live in Newcastle, and it's great. It's a great version, soundboard recording, worth checking out. So I have it a little bit higher, but
Okay.
fair enough.
Well, 7 is when the night for me.
Okay, 7 for me would be One More Kiss,
Well, okay.
which is track 4 on side 1. Sometimes written about, sometimes credited as Only One More
Only
Kiss.
one more kiss, right?
Only One More Kiss. Again, a case of kind of in the similar vein as Single Pigeon, on the shorter side, not a whole lot going on, lyrically, pleasant enough on the ears, but again, as kind of we discussed with Ram, the bigger songs just outweigh it, and for
Absolutely.
me, there was no other way to rank it. Where I did, so that's why I put it at 7. Susan loves she loves When the Night. Tom agrees with you, Tom, about the 2 album sides on Red Rose
Oh,
Speedway.
cool. Thank you, Tom.
When the Night is his number 6, and
Okay.
the bridge is the best part of the song. Agreed with that too,
Okay.
Tom.
Fair
Ray.
enough. Fair enough.
So
One more kiss is your
One More
number
Kiss is my
7.
7. So now you're 6.
My 6, and it was voted by popular demand as to keep it as a one-track song. So my number 6 is the medley to end the album. Now, I'll tell you that I would have put it at my least favorite, but Hands of Love and Power Cut, I think, kind of elevate it a little higher. Just because Hold Me Tight and Lazy Dynamite are so repetitive. That I'm not big fan of over repetitive, and I think that's why Hey Jude has finally just started to set fatigue on me on that. But yeah, but Hands of Love and Power Cut, I think saves that the medley for me. Again, 11 minute and 19 seconds. You could have got rid of that. You could have put on Country Dreamers, Seaside Woman, I Lie Around, The Mess, so many other songs that show McCartney and Wings as a band, really,
No
with
way.
other, yeah,
No
then,
way.
yeah.
No way. Wouldn't
I,
change it. Wouldn't change it for a thing.
I understand that.
And the
I'm
reason,
fine with
and
that.
the original album did not have the medley on it.
Yeah,
Only after
exactly.
EMI said no, and he came back to create something that he thought fans would like to kind of
Right.
redo like a Abbey Road type thing.
Right.
But I'll save my
But
comments for when I
what
rank
is
it.
but how does he remember it now? He doesn't, because when he talked about the medley on the at the end of what Memory Almost Full, he totally skipped over that and
He
went right to
forgot
the Abbey
about it.
Road.
Oh, Gerardo says he loves Lazy Dynamite. Good on for you, Gerardo. Big
Hey,
win.
listen, again, his singing is excellent throughout this whole album. You know,
Yeah.
however, if you
Susan,
wanted,
no, Tom, say it ain't so. You are not going to have a lot of fans tonight with that ranking, bro.
it's
I
fine.
told
It's
you.
fine.
That's okay.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, no, you're right.
But
But
if you wanted to showcase the band, other members of the band, you don't need an 11-minute
the
medley.
band is
You know,
showcased on it. Denny Lane's playing Killer.
with other, I'm sorry, with other vocals, with the other members doing having a lead vocal, like Linda with Seaside Woman, like Denny with
I
the.
don't need to hear Linda doing Seaside Woman on a Paul
Sure you
album.
do.
No.
It's great. It's a Wings album, there, sir.
Actually, EMI insisted that this get credited Paul McCartney in
Paul
Wings.
McCartney and Wings,
So,
still a band.
a band that if Paul wasn't in it, how many people would be buying the records? I'll wait.
Exactly. No, and I'm in total agreement in that with you, because when on Talk More Talk, when we talked about Wings being in the Rock
I
and Roll Hall
remember
of
that
Fame,
episode.
I said no, and for
Right.
exactly that reason. Paul McCartney leaves, there is no Wings.
Right. So you
You know,
just you just
but
counteracted
no.
your own point.
But what I'm saying is there was the opportunity there to present it as, okay, I'm not the only lead vocalist in the band.
I hear you. I hear you, and I feel that he probably was like, okay, he wasn't at that stage to do that. He wasn't ready
Right.
to do that. Obviously, later as Wings got more successful,
Right. Yeah, Denny
he
started getting lead.
no, but then you go by the time you get to Speed of Sound, he
Right.
felt okay. Now I've established the band as a very successful band. Now I'll be a little more democratic, and you can have a little
Right.
more space.
He established the band,
I,
which is not what he set out to do. He set out for the band to be, itself to be established,
he
not with
wanted
him.
to. That's of course that's what
Right.
he wanted, but he realized, okay, I'm the name here. I gotta have to put more of myself into it, and
Yeah,
that's the medley is all Paul, and that's why I have it ranked where I do when I get to
that's
my
fine.
ranking. But that
Okay,
was your what was your six?
6. Yeah.
My six is the album opener, Big Barn Bed. Um, again, good track, good opener.
Right.
Played a hell of a lot. It was used to open the James Paul McCartney special in April of
Right.
'73. Was played on a couple of tours as well. It's okay. It plods along a little bit. I'm not gonna call it like a. It's not like a great album opener. It's a good album opener.
Right.
And for me, that's why I have it at I have it ranked sixth.
Okay. Fair enough. Let's see here. Number 5. We're down to the top 5 already. Okay, here we
Yeah,
go. My number 5 is One More Kiss, and again, I like the country feel to it, kind of like the Country Dreamer types, songs, stuff like that. Again, I like the singing. I like the story, throughout it, and I like the guitar playing. If that's Henry doing the country style guitar, I really dig that, and yeah, I think it's a good song.
okay. A couple more comments here. Tom Brennan said the mess would have been a better album opener. Bing, I agree with that,
Hey,
Tom. That's a
yeah.
great point, Tom. Tom Brennan, thank you. Day Tripper said, "Don't you guys think that Red Rose Speedway was a bit weak?" Not me, Day Tripper. He might have been joined late. We opened up before the stream.
Right.
Red Rose Speedway is my favorite McCartney album of all time.
Right.
And Tom, I think,
And for me, it's
how do you
it's the
feel?
tale of two sides. A side I think is perfect. B side is, for me, really weak.
Not great. Okay.
Yeah.
My number 5 is
Yes.
When the Night. Also, Tom mentioned. I think that was Tom's number 7. I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. When the Night. Good track. Again, done live well. Kind of, it's got a lot of nice lyrics in it. I think it's just a good jam. A little bit towards the end there, it's kind of get that kind of wah, 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 wah thing
Right.
going on, which kind of gets maybe could be a little bit more graining on the ears. Good harmonies on it too. Classic Wing sound on it.
Oh, the great harmonies throughout this whole album.
Right, the oohing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So to your point about being more of a band thing, like I think that's present throughout the whole record anyway. So again, definitely an album track, good album track, but nothing, that's not my top four. Not near the top four, but
Right.
let's see. Let's see. Susan said, "Holy smoke! Big Barn Bed is her number one." Wow,
Wow.
damn. Big Bill Leary said, "Big Barn Bed is his favorite track on Ram." Nice one. Nice one. Tim Brownrigg said when he went to the Liverpool '08 concert, Big Barn Bed was blaring outside, so a bit of a biased memory for me.
Cool.
Yeah, cool. And then Gerardo said The Mess and Country Dreamer are amazing as well. He has extra tracks,
Yeah.
of course,
Ton of, yeah,
B-sides.
well, obviously we know there's a double album's worth from these sessions. So yeah, I mean, the pickings
Yeah.
were not slim for this album.
No, and listen, clearly it was a frustrated period for the band to be produced. I mean, Glenn Johns walked away from the sessions and had enough because he was like, this band is so not ready to record. They
Right.
just sit around and just get high every day and not really ready to record. And Glenn Johns was like the man in the early 70s.
Right.
Rolling Stones, who's next? I mean, now he's coming and to Olympic Studios in Barnes,
Right.
which is where some of this album was recorded. And he's like, what are they doing?
Right.
So definitely an album fraught with direction and where are they at as a band now? They've toured, they're trying to gel a little bit. They got one album, they've done a lot of touring, and now the band's going to try to make an album. And
Right.
so it's a bit uneven, but it's classic early Wings.
Right. I mean, they got 3 tours under their belt, by the time this album is out, so
Yeah.
or two, I'm sorry, two, and then they were touring while I think when this album came out.
Yes,
So
the university
yeah.
tour, the European
So,
tour, then this one,
and
the tour. Yeah.
yeah, Wings Over Europe. Right.
Yep.
So okay, top four. I'm going with the opener for number four, Big Barn Bed. Again, I like the opening. Do do do. I like the yeah. I like the come on, backing vocals, from Linda and Denny on this. I really dig. I dig Paul's vocals on here as well. Again, yeah, I think it's a good opening track. I think it's cool that it was featured in the James Paul McCartney special and the Bruce McMouse,
That's right. I
special.
dig the James Paul McCartney one where it stops and just goes, "Good
Right.
evening." That's cool. And they hear the
Right.
announcer as they're playing it. James Paul McCartney.
Oh,
Blah, blah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it
It's
works well. It has that quality of an album opener. Big, good bass
right.
line. Boom, boom, boom.
Hmm.
It's a good. You're like, okay, that's a good opener for a record. But the original acetate for the double album actually opened up with Night Out, right?
Yes, that's true, and the reconstructed opens with Night Out as well.
Right. Well, that tried to just mimic the original. Well, the two LP. Although that's what
Right.
always funny. The original two LP did not have the medley on it.
No, it did not. No,
But then it did. If you look
but
at
it
the line, if you look in the liner note of the book, the archive book, so there was
right,
like two LPs constructed. The
right.
first two double LP that didn't have the medley, and then a double LP proposed that did have the medley. So, and that's what we got, I guess, with this new.
That's what we got.
Yeah.
Plenty of room on the side. I mean, on the albums for more tracks. But yeah, okay. So you're number four.
Yep. Let's see. Vivian says adore the harmonies on Big Barn. Yep. Tom Brennan. Yep. He has one more kiss at number 4. Sounds like an early Beatles song. Yeah, I could hear that. My number 4, the mega smash hit song on the album, My Love.
Ah,
That's my number 4. Again, most people who are ranking this album probably put that number 1. I think the average fan that actually listens to this album is like, oh, that's the only song that they associate with the album is My Love.
nice.
In that vein of, ballads, maybe I'm Amazed, My Love. But I like 3 more songs a lot better. Listen, it's a great, great song, but it's my number 4.
Cool. Yeah.
And it's funny, you watch the Wingspan documentary, and they talk about Red Rose Speedway, and he's sitting there with his daughter talking about it. And Red Rose Speedway, all of this
Right.
period is just summed up with, oh, you did My Love with Wings. We're
Yeah.
just going to
Yeah.
gloss over
Yeah.
all this stuff.
Who inspired that? Well, it was your mummy.
Right. And we're going to just gloss over
Right.
all this activity and all the stuff that was done as we've
Yeah.
learned.
Right.
That 71 to 73 period was so fruitful of stuff. And it was just,
It was.
But we listen. We talked about Wingspan, and that's. But it's just that My Love is what that is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Bill says he puts My Love in the middle of the ranking. Great, but not his favorite.
Okay.
My Love is Susan says is her number three. So very similar trends.
Oh, very good. I like it. Okay.
Go for it, brother.
All right. My number three is Little Lamb Dragonfly. Again, another track that is well sung. Two songs pretty much constructed incorporated into one. Um, I guess the playing is done is well here, but I think the main thing I really like about this is Paul's vocals. Again, I think this is one of his best sung albums on
Oh,
in his whole canon, and but this it's just so smooth. His vocals on this track. So
that was your number three.
that was my number three. Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay. My number three would be the third song. Get on the right thing.
Oh, okay.
Um, Damn, when I became a kind of diehard McCartney fan in, I don't know, eons ago and learning all the deep album cuts, this one just made the hair stick on the back of my neck up.
Yeah.
Listen to this song. That scream at the end,
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God. I was like, listening to this, I'm like, this this is like this is Hey Jude to me. Like this is how good this stuff is. And I
Right.
felt that way then, and I felt it now. Get on the right thing, as we know, a Ram leftover that actually has Hugh McCracken on guitars, not anybody in Wings proper, but they were brought
Right.
back for these sessions. Great build up, a lot of build up in this song. Boom, all at once, and it just the
Oh,
build up,
yes.
the build
Love
up
it.
to the
Yeah.
build up to that song is absolutely tremendous. Ends with a terrific screamer at the end. And then, of course, on the archive edition, we got another great early take of the song,
Right. Yep.
which is tremendous. So, Get on the Right Thing is, for me, that's talk about pure McCartney. Get on the
Yes.
Right Thing is pure McCartney. For
Agreed. Agreed.
me.
Yep.
Yeah. Tim Browning said, "Is Dragonfly about John?" No, it's actually about a lamb that that had died on his farm.
Right.
And because Paul and their family had tons of animals and sheep and stuff, and a lamb had died, and that's what he wrote the song about. Go for it, brother. Your number
Number two
two.
is
Now we're getting down
yes, yeah. My number two is the mega number one hit, "My Love," which this version, obviously we knew the year prior they were doing this song in the Wings Over the Europe or the UK tour and the Wings Over Europe tour.
Europe.
Yeah. But they were doing it a little differently. You would hear Paul sing "My Love," and then you would hear Linda add a "My Love" to it, which I kind of liked. The more when we when we got this, I got I think we heard that for the first time, and then watching the Bruce McMouse show, hearing Linda do her little "My Love" part. I really dug. However, it was really the weakness of it was Henry's solo, as it's not realized as what it was. Here in the finished studio album. I think I kind of would have liked.
Right.
Right, yeah, yeah. His solos weren't really as strong as it ended up being. So I mean, I just think this song. I mean, it's just one of those songs that you gravitate towards, when you're learning about Paul. You're discovering his catalog, and I think just "My Love" is just one of those songs that just sticks out to you. I know he got a lot of flack for all the whoa whoa whoas, and all that stuff, and maybe rightfully so. Yeah, again, yeah.
To me, that just
But,
sounds like very
that's
classic.
Paul.
That's Paul. We know this is what he is, and he's very vocal about
Right.
that. Very schmaltzy, very AM radio sounding. That's a very early '70s trademark sound song.
Yeah.
"My Love."
And then and then
In the
Henry,
video too.
yeah, and then Henry records that kick-ass solo, and that just brings it up another notch, and it's almost it's pop perfection, and it was proven by its number one status here in the States, I think.
Yeah. It's he's pretty much included it on most of his tours since in truncated versions and stuff like that. But I think the one live version he did of My Love, which if you ever listen to it, I think it's that live version that's the Paul's live version from '93.
Right, yeah.
That sounds like a little bit of a Rush job on that. It does not
Right.
sound, you know what I'm talking about? He just kind
Yeah.
of rushes through all the whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa.
yeah.
And you
I
saw
vaguely
that.
remember.
And
Yeah,
you
I
saw
vaguely
that.
remember it. Yeah,
You know,
I
he did
remember being so excited that he's playing this song, and
right.
then before you know it, you blinked and it was done. You
Because he
know?
just powered through it, you know.
Yeah, just powered right through it.
It was like,
Yeah,
and if you listen to that recording on Paul's Live, you're like, man, this is not played with the same passion of, say, the Wings Over
right,
America version,
right.
you know, or pretty more anything from that era. But hey, listen, there's a reason why it's on all of his compilations. You know, I
It's
believe you
true.
know that was Wings' first #1 hit single
Yeah, yeah. You can say that. Yeah,
as
absolutely.
Wings, as Paul McCartney and Wings, whatever.
Right.
That was their first. That was
That
their
was their
first
first number
first
one. Right.
#1. So, and that's why that no doubt helped the sales of this album, of course.
Oh, it had to have. Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cool.
And I think the
So,
strength of that song brought the album to number one as well, because this was the first of, I think of 5 consecutive number one albums for Paul. So,
yeah, I mean, you look at that April '73 period, such a fruitful period for the Beatles solos. I mean, and then their collective
oh,
stuff. The
yeah. And then the red
'73,
and the blue
you
albums.
had the Red and the Blue albums, Living in the Material
Right.
World, Red Rose Speedway, and then later in the year, you got Ringo and Mind Games
Mind Games. And Live and Let Die.
as a single. Yep.
And Helen Wheels.
And Hell on Wheels as a single
Yeah.
later in the year too. So
Yeah, exactly.
the James Paul
73
McCartney the James Paul McCartney special. So
Yep.
low, I think that was, and I think you guys, I don't know, I think no, the things we said today, guys, did a show on what the best year was for all
Right.
four
Yeah,
solo Beatles,
73 has to
and
be.
that was the year that people came
Right.
up with. And then
Yeah, look, you got.
yeah, I mean, and then Bill Leary just said 1973 was a killer year for music. Good point, Bill. I'm
Right.
actually reading a book about the year of 1973 of music right now.
I think I know the book it's speaking of. Yeah,
You've
because
seen it.
you're living the material. Yeah, material world and Red Rose Speedway are number one. Then the singles from each album are number one. And then Live and Let Die is, I think, at number two. It was a number two hit.
Yep.
Ringo gets a couple number ones.
Photograph,
And
You're 16.
yeah. So
And then that was
great period.
that was the closest all four of them got to working together for Ringo's album. John writes I Am the
Right.
Greatest, Paul writes 6 o'clock, George does Photograph. I mean,
Yeah.
that was the closest it was ever going to happen again. And I think that's why
Right.
73 is 73 and
With
the solo Beatle music of 73 is thought of and regarded so well, I think now.
right, yeah, with the stand in with Klaus Vorman on that track there. So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah,
Talking about 73 is just a little bit of a tangent. I mean, talk about it, just outside of the Beatles. You've got
right.
Goodbye
So
Yellow Brick Road by Elton John,
right.
Quadrophenia by
Oh,
The Who, Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. I mean, Houses of the Holy,
Atlas.
Houses of the Holy. The music of 73, I think was probably one of the best in rock music, bar none.
Plus, I was born. Yeah. So
And then the world gave us my
yeah,
co-host.
yeah.
And then you end
So
the year of 73 with Band on the Run, as Gerardo just said. Thank you,
there you
Gerardo.
go. Thank you. Yes,
You
exactly.
end 73 with Band on the
Three
Run.
with Band on the Run. Yes, which
Yeah.
didn't become number one until 74, but still.
Right.
I mean, come on.
Unbelievable
Anyways,
year.
so did you do number two yet?
I did not do number two. My number two is the Little Lamb Dragonfly.
Okay.
As Tom mentioned, Paul's singing is so gentle and delicate on this song. Also, actually has some orchestration work by George Martin on this track too, which again,
I don't know if that's credited or not, but
it's credited on the archive. It's not credited on the
archives,
original
the
73.
album. Right.
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 And again, that track it was a ram left over.
Yes.
Going back to the 1970 sessions in New York with Denny Sywell and Hugh.
Again, another album that could have been a double album.
Yeah. It could have been a double album easily. Obviously with Get on the Right Thing and Little Lamb Dragonfly.
Oh, and Road All Night was 8 minutes, so you got half an album, right? Half a side right
Right,
there.
but Little Lamb Dragonfly for me has always been a song that was always going to be, again, top tier. I'm going to make my pure McCartney mix. Little Lamb Dragonfly is on there, just like Get on the Right. I mean,
Yeah.
And anybody who doesn't know that song, I mean, just shame on you because it is 5.5 minutes of
Right.
just perfection.
I think so.
Everything about it, the orchestration and how it comes back and goes back and forth, and it just again, and the days of listening to it on an album, right? It
Yeah.
closes side one proper. Talked about this a few days ago or last couple streams ago. The sequencing of albums and how they end. There's a natural pause when you listen to it on a vinyl record, and Little Lamb Dragonfly closes out side one, and it's just like it leaves you in a state of like heaven. It's
Right.
like, okay, I don't want this to ever end.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah.
That was my number two.
Okay. Well,
Listen,
my number one.
go for it, brother.
Yeah, my number one is Get on the Right Thing. Again, for reasons you said, I love the build up to it. I love, again, Paul's vocals, the screaming, the backing vocals. I think are some of the best backing vocals the whole Wings career. And again, it's just that build, doom, 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 and then going into his vocals, and then the
Oh yeah.
screaming. It's just again, I think this might have been a kind of cool opener as well.
Oh, good point. Good point.
Instead of Big Barn Bed.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Can you imagine that? Wow.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I've always loved this track from the minute I heard it.
A lot of good,
And
weird backwards guitar stuff on this too.
yeah. Oh, good point. Yes, good point. Yeah, that's going on there too. But yeah, for the longest time, it's just like, okay, Big Barn Bed, My Love, and Get on the Right Thing were like the only tracks I really cared for on
Really?
this album. Yeah, but then the more you listen to it, the more you start getting into other songs, and yeah, I mean, it actually took me a while to really get into Little Lamb Dragonfly as well. That wasn't an instant classic to
No.
me. You know?
Took you a while for that one too.
Yeah, it took me a while for
Got a
that.
comment here from Steve. I'm so sorry, Serge. 74 was a pretty good year for solo albums. Yeah, 74 was obviously with Walls and Bridges and but then you didn't
Vienna.
Good Night Vienna, but you didn't really have. I mean, you had Dark Horse, which wasn't really as good as successful as the Material World, and really you didn't have any solo albums from Paul in '74.
Well, I mean, Band on the Run, lapped over.
It overlapped. I mean,
it
74
overlapped,
right. A lot of people, but it overlapped. Listen,
and that's when it had the most success was in 74.
74,
going to
right?
number
Obviously,
one twice.
Right, when it went down to number one, it came back a few times. But Dark Horse obviously didn't do as well. But it's still 74 is still a very good year for solo Beatle music. I think most people agree that 73 was the better year.
Yeah, top 5 hit at Junior's Farm. So you still had a bunch.
Yeah,
of
and
success.
you've got the Lost Wings album of '74 with McGear too.
Oh, McGear, absolutely. Yes, there you go. There you go. I like it. Yeah.
So my number one. We all know what it is. If you've been watching,
yeah, go ahead and spew it out.
You know I'm gonna listen. Since we have done this podcast, we have gone back and forth over this song. I remember the first time I met you, you were like, "What? You got that ranked where?" I'm like, "Yeah, Tom, that's where I have it ranked." Yeah, and he was the guy who was like, "No, I can't stand that." I freaking love the medley that closes out Red Rose Speedway.
I'm glad you do.
25 years plus. I'll tell you, we talk about medleys and how he wants to make it look like Abbey Road and Golden Slumbers. Let me tell you something. I listen to the medley that closes out Red Rose Speedway way more than I listen to Golden Slumbers. Way more.
That's not the strongest of the medleys, though.
What isn't?
Golden Slumbers one. The
Well,
Golden
anything.
Slumbers medley.
Anything.
Oh no, no.
Anything.
Listen,
I'll listen.
Pam, she came
I'll
in
listen-
through the bathroom
I'll
window
listen
is
to-
10 times better than that medley.
And
10 times.
most people will agree with you, but I listen to this medley that closes out this album way more than I ever listened to side 2 of Abbey Road. And that's just how I am.
Right. I'd tell you what, I would be more inclined to agree with you if the way the songs were joined were a little bit more interesting. You got the Pauline Pam going into, she came in through the bathroom window, and you got this really interesting, haha, laughing coming from John,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And it's just a little more interesting how those songs connect. This here, you just,
and I will admit, it does sound like it's forced to be created to be a medley. It's not flow.
medley. Right.
You had mentioned when you were ranking this, you didn't like the repetitiveness of "Hold Me Tight" or "Lazy
first
Dynamite."
two.
I love that. I love that. I love the repetitiveness of it. I love it because he sings it differently each time.
Right.
Listen, Bill Leary, he can listen to Lazy Dynamite anytime. Yes, Bill, you and I are on the same page, my friend. Because if you listen to it, and I'm telling, and I've listened to this song. If I could check my iTunes playlist, it would probably say 1,001 times, probably more over the last 25, 30 years.
Right.
He sings it differently. His vocal phrasing
Right.
on
Right.
is so different and so unique that it just is an earworm for me. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. Everything
Fair
in here.
enough. Yeah.
Hands of Love. Hands of Love might be my least favorite of the four songs.
Okay.
Hold Me Tight. Okay, it's a little repetitive, but the way it builds up, you just hold me tight, and then boom, right into Old Lazy
Oh,
Dynamite.
lazy dime.
Right.
Yeah.
Denny doing some great harmonica work on that. Guitar lift is awesome on that. And then it closes out with Power Cut and to end the album, very similar in a way that in side one, it just kind of gets you in a trance where you're like, Power Cut, and and that's the end of the album. And then you hear the other three songs represented in a
Right.
guitar
Yeah.
solo,
Throughout the power. Right.
which is at the end,
I think that's really unique. Yeah.
you
And that's
hear,
why I really like that. But yeah.
you know,
Yeah. And
um,
that's why I like Power Cut because of that.
because
I
you
think
do
it's
hear,
unique.
right, because
Yeah. Right.
you hear the Hands of Love and you hear Hold Me Tight.
Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Listen, I know it's probably a very unpopular opinion, but the Red Rose Speedway medley for me has always been top tier McCartney. It always will be for me forever.
Hey.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Great
that's
singing,
just
great harmonies throughout the album. So
yeah. Got a couple more comments here to catch up with the medley. Susan said the medley is her number two. It's cleverly put together, but the Golden Slumbers medley is the best of all time for me. Fair enough. Tim, he likes how the end three parts bleed together. That's pretty clever. Nice transition, as we mentioned.
right.
And Gerardo said the medleys together also. FD Superstar agrees with you, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom Brennan says, how about doing a Rank the Paul Medleys live podcast? And somebody asked a while ago, were we going to do the bonus tracks? We're only doing the album proper.
Right, we're only doing the album proper. Now, one thing we will do when we get done with Back to the Egg is we're going to go back and then we're going to rank all the non-album singles because there was a lot of them.
And
we want to
especially in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. Because we want to include those songs because there's a lot of great songs there. So we're going to go back and we're going to do, and we can even include the non-album B-sides as well because, Girl School is a great song. Nighttime Suffering, great song. You know what I mean? So we can include, songs like that as well. Sea Moon, I'm sorry. The B-side to Junior Farm.
Sally G.
Sally G. Thank you. Yeah, so many great songs. So many great songs.
Right.
Even
So
Let
yeah.
Die.
So once we finish the albums, we'll go back and then do the 70s non-album, and then we'll do those as well.
Right.
But yeah, a lot of great. I mean, this is just a great package too. When it came out in '73, gatefold, booklet, photos. First time a McCartney album had lyrics too. Was on this album.
Right. Right.
Because John used to rib him a little bit because he's like, oh, Paul doesn't put lyrics in his albums. I always put lyrics in mine. All of a sudden,
Right.
we get this big gatefold package, and in the back, you've got the lyrics in it for the first time.
Lyrics.
For the first time. Let's see. Bill Leary, have you guys heard the Wings on the Radio bootleg non-album songs with radio commercials mixed in? No, Bill, I have not. Have you?
No, can't recall that I have.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna do a little survey right here now too. So
yeah, just one sec. Comments. Piano opening of Hold Me Tight sounds like Paul took Maybe I'm Amazed and just changed it slightly. Yeah, a little bit. FD Superstar, what do you guys think of Check My Machine? Oh, you'll have to wait and see. Sticks and stones might break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So
go ahead.
Quick little survey like we did last week for Red Rose Speedway. This time for Band on the Run. Now, when we do Band on the Run next week, do you want us to do the U.S. version that has Hell on Wheels, or would you like us to do the UK version that the way it's supposed to be without Helen Wheels. We'll take the first maybe 5 or 6 of you
When are we closing the polls?
tonight, right to now, tonight, right here, and don't start your shit.
I, for the record, think that when we rank Band on the Run, we just need to do the original 9 tracks
UK,
as
yeah,
issued in the UK, which was Paul's vision and Paul's idea to issue the album properly.
I,
It was.
I I I agree too. I
Oh, you
agree too.
do?
But yeah, no, I
Oh,
agree
okay.
too. However, I would just like to see what everybody else thinks.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Helen Wheels was only included at the insistence of Capitol and
right.
their A&R man at the time, Al Curry, who said you got to put that on there for more of a single. I personally feel we should just do the 9-track UK version. So the early votes are coming in. One for US, one for UK, one for UK, one for US, another one for US, one for UK. Gerardo says Helen Wheels will be fun with more fun in it. Tim says leave it out. Helen
Hmm.
Wheels is weak anyway. I agree with you,
Ah,
Tim.
okay. Well, we'll do the UK version then.
Okay, fine, the UK version. No, but this one was a lot more closer though, in terms
Right.
of the medley. Which
I think so. Right. Right.
so if those of who didn't weren't watching last week we had asked when we do Red Rose Speedway, should we break up the medley and rank those songs in
Right.
the medley individually, which is what Tom was proposing, and then or just keep it and vote it as one. And the overwhelmingly response
Which
was
it should have been. Which it should be. Which it should be.
right. So
Absolutely.
all right, so it looks like we'll wait and see, but I think we'll do the UK version proper. And it's
Right.
funny, you grew up with the US version, so
Hmm.
you actually got used to hearing with Hell on Wheels, but then you listen to it
Oh,
without it.
absolutely.
It
Yeah. Yeah.
changes it a little bit, doesn't it? You hear it
Yeah.
differently.
Oh, yeah. You do hear it differently. And but the thing is, it's again, like with the people that grew up listening to the U.S.
Beatle
Capitol
albums,
albums,
sure,
then in the '70s, you get these UK versions, and it's like it just like a blow, mind warp. I mean, it blows these people minds that this is what they attended, not over here.
right? But it's you don't know until because this is what you've been given, and it's like
Right,
whoa,
right.
your whole listening
So
experience has been
right,
changed.
right. So I would still consider Helen Wheels part of Band on the Run, just because that's
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 how it was
what
programmed.
that's how I grew up with it.
That's how it was programmed. But
But
that,
I
that
do but I
yeah,
do believe in going back and doing it the way their vision, and presenting it that way. So absolutely.
you're gonna have Band on the Run #1, right?
Number one. No, no.
Tim
Listen,
said,
I'm just warning a lot of people right now. Some fatigue and some songs are going to play a big factor next week when we do Band on the Run for me.
"Oh yeah, same for me too. Lots of fatigue on some of these songs."
Yes.
Tim said, "Helen Wheels doesn't fit in well with the album. To me, it just sounds like a jam session." Spot on, Tim.
Great. Nice, Tim.
FD Superstar said, "Do you listen to the UK version over the US version?" He never has. I only ever listened to the US version up
Yeah,
until
same here.
maybe 10 years ago. And then
Right.
I started listening to it really after the Archive campaign came out, which
Right.
was the Band on the Run was the first issue in the Archive campaign. And listening to it that way changed my perspective on that album totally. I don't know about you, Tom.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's I'm just so used to hearing it with Helen Wheels that it's just you know. But the thing is going back to the fatigue thing. I don't play Band on the Run a lot anymore.
Right.
I don't. I just it's one of the last albums. If I'm gonna grab a Paul McCartney record, I can almost guarantee you, Band on the Run might be the last album I grab.
Out of all of them, you're going to grab this one
All of them,
last.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. If
yeah.
I'm going in the car, if I'm going on a road trip, and somebody says, "Hey, grab a couple Paul albums or CDs," Band on the Run will probably be the last one I would even think, least consider grabbing.
It's and especially over the last 10 years, he's
Right.
played over
Oh, live.
over half of this album live.
Yeah, exactly.
He started including Mrs. Vanderbilt in his set list, and 1985.
Yeah,
Let me
roll it
let me
is
roll.
every year is Let Me Roll It.
Yeah,
Every
that's every year since '76. I think, with the exception of one tour he didn't play it, and I forget which one. But it's been in every set. It's been in every tour since
maybe the
'76.
'79 tour. I don't know,
Right? Oh
but
yeah, it wasn't in '79, and it wasn't in another one. '93.
But
Uh,
that
what do you
damn
got?
Jimi Hendrix jam at the end is just
Oh,
getting so played out. You know.
yeah. And listen, it's just, there's so much more. Like, this is when he's gonna play other songs live.
Right.
Let me hear. And that's why it's the '79 tour when they did no words. Oh
Oh,
my, fantastic
mind
version.
blown again. You know.
Yeah, you're really hearing the harmonies on that song
Right.
between Paul, Linda, and Denny.
Then yep. Yep.
You're really hearing that wing sound on that song. So yeah, that'll be we're gonna do Band on the Run next Wednesday, the
Yep.
16th at 9 Eastern.
Yep. There you go. So that was this week, Red Rose Speedway. Thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you next week. Take
Peace
care.
out. We love you, Stevie.
There you go.
Bye.